Hey guys, Blue Bridge here. Wasn't the result we wanted, but Palace were always going to be a tough nut to crack, so let's crack on. Hey guys, I was just recording my video and the lights went out, so I'm going to start it again. The light may not be as good because I've only got, luckily I've got a light that doesn't require power, and so I'm going to go again. So it ended 0-0, and it would have been better if the power went out when Chelsea were playing actually, because I wouldn't have had to witness that ball fest of a match against Crystal Palace. But I did warn you guys. I said Palace are a tough nut to crack, and I said it's not going to be easy. And so Palace are a confident side at the moment, having won the FA Cup and the Charity Shield. They're well organised. They're a physical side also. So they're a team not to be underestimated. And plus they've had 4 weeks of pre-season. We've only had 2. I've heard some nonsense by some people saying, "Oh, but we played in the World Club Cup," but that was on the back end of last season. So we're still coming back. And today it showed that we weren't ready. We were a little bit slow off the pace. And okay, we looked good in our 2 warm-up games against Leverkusen and AC Milan, but the intensity wasn't there. The physicality wasn't there. Totally different ball game when you play in a competitive match. And sometimes football's about luck as well, because we played against Crystal Palace, as I said, who played a kind of competitive match against Liverpool last week, so they were ready and prepared for that. Had we played Palace later on in the season, where they have to play in Europe, then it could have been a different ball game, because they have to juggle the 2 games, and plus they've got Eze and Gui, who may not be there at the end of the window. So sometimes it's about timing of when you play these particular teams. But Glasner has Maresca's number, and he did it twice last season. 2 times he got a point against us, and he made those famous quotes of, "I know exactly how Maresca plays. I know exactly how to prepare for it," and it's not obviously just idle chat, because he proves tactically that he's got Maresca's number. And Chelsea, my disappointment was that Chelsea didn't change it, because Palace know that Chelsea like to play through the middle. So what they did, they plugged that middle. Will Hughes and Wharton were in there, just waiting for mistakes and pouncing on mistakes and trying to hit us on the break. They didn't create a lot of chances themselves, to be honest, but their game plan worked, because they nullified us. They stopped us from getting any chances, apart from the end. I'll talk about that a bit later. But their goalkeeper Henderson, let's be honest, he didn't make a decent save all game. Both shots we had on target were routine saves for him, and so he didn't have to exert himself playing against us. And as a commentator said, that's probably going to be one of his easiest games this season. So different attack, same problems that Chelsea face: how to break down stubborn, low block, physical teams. And I'm hearing stuff like, because Maresca made those comments I mentioned in my video in the pre-match video about co-will, and how it's going to affect our build-up play. And then a lot of people, who don't think for themselves, were blaming that as an excuse. "Oh yeah, that's why we need Levi Colwill, and Maresca's right. We haven't got anyone to play through their midfield, or no one to build up from the back." Come on, Achampong, I thought, apart from one mistake, I'm not sure if it was him or Shalaboy made that mistake towards the end where he nearly conceded a goal. Apart from that, I thought he did okay. He was trying to break through the lines with some runs. Some of his passing was pretty decent. And let's be honest, when Levi Colwill played twice against Crystal Palace, did he have any joy in breaking them down? Both games ended 1-1, and both times we had the same issues, being able to break them down to score more than one. And so don't use that as an excuse. That's just a lazy analysis for me. So I just feel that, as I said, we need to change our tactics a bit when we play against teams like Crystal Palace. And one thing what we can do, which I was a bit disappointed with Maresca for, was Gittins wasn't having a great game. Muniz had his number. So I feel that I feel that we could have just switched up to play a little bit. I'd have kept João Pedro on because he's a goal for it, and I'd have brought on Delap a bit earlier because you could see that physically, João Pedro was getting dominated by the Crystal Palace defence. They were excellent today, by the way. But I thought that had we brought on Delap and with his physical presence and a more physical presence of Pedro than you see from a Gittins or even a Neto, then I feel that we could have posed more questions to Crystal Palace, because as soon as Delap came on, he gave them a bit of problems. He bullied them around a bit, and they didn't look as comfortable as they did when coming up against João Pedro. So I think had we had him there and Pedro just playing off him and changing up the formation a little bit, then that's what I would have done. Let's talk about the disallowed goals as well, because a lot of people don't understand the rules. I'm hearing stuff about Chelsea were cheating and all this nonsense, the ref was cheating. But the rules are that you cannot impede on the opposing player's wall, and Gueye got too close to the Chelsea wall when it wasn't for the foul. Initially I thought it was for the way that he pushed Caicedo out of the way, but it wasn't. It because he came across his line early and he impeded on the wall. That's why the goal was disallowed. But even having said that, I thought our wall was very weak. I thought we should have been stronger in that wall. That's what a wall's there for. A wall is meant to be fortify your defence. It's meant to stop the free kick from going through. And I thought a few of our players got out of the way, didn't show any bravery. And if you look at what the Crystal Palace player did, the big-eared American guy, what's his name? Can't remember. But anyway, what he did, he got in the way of that shot by Palmer. He made himself big. He even got a nosebleed because of it. And our players didn't show that bravery, so I need our players to show a little bit of bravery. I thought defensively sometimes we looked a bit shaky, but having said that, we didn't really give Crystal Palace any major chances apart from that disallowed goal. I don't think Sanchez had a decent shot to make neither. Thought when Esteval came on, he looked lively and he tried to make things happen, but he should have done a bit better with the chance that he got when he failed to hit the target, and he was a little bit wild. He could have passed it, left it for Neto maybe as well, but you can understand he wants to come on, he wants to make an impression. And the big chance at the end came from Santos for me, and that was, I don't know what he was doing again. A bit of rabbit in headlights, a bit excitable. He could have made a name for himself by scoring a goal, but he panicked a bit, and rather than taking a touch, settle himself, knocking it in, he hit the ball first time, didn't take a bobble. It was a bit criminal the way he missed that chance. He's got to be doing better than that. Enzo wasn't great today. He had a poor game. I don't think he's fully match fit. I think he's eased back after all the matches that he played last season, and Enzo would have buried that because we've seen him do that week in, week out. I'm not pitting them against each other, but I thought Enzo for me wasn't the best today. There are going to be, hopefully as the weeks go on, we are going to get into our rhythm a bit more, because today we didn't show that rhythm. Same, different attack, same issues that we have in the team. But that's why I think that the need for Simmons is great, because we haven't got anybody in our side, no runners in midfield who can run from deep and create those chances. And he's a strong runner in the middle. He can make things happen, and he's someone who can switch things up as well. So we can either play two tens sometimes in different matches to break down these low blocks. So there's a lot of questions that haven't been answered yet with this new attack. We'll see how it goes as the season goes on. Are they going to be able to adapt? Are we going to see better patterns of play? Because Palace have given a template to a lot of teams now in how to play us and how to nullify our attack. We've made loads of different changes in attack, but we need to find solutions, because I did mention in that video that I made the other day how this is going to prove whether we can find solutions against these strong organised defences. I'm not getting it's early days, so I'm not getting reactionary and say we can't do it, because we don't know yet. but time will tell. And so, disappointing result in the end, but it's something that I kind of expected against Palace. As I said, it was going to be a difficult game, always going to be a difficult game, but in the end we just didn't do it. So what are your thoughts of the game? I can't even think of anyone who had a brilliant game today. Can you think of someone who had a good game? Stick it in the chat below. What can we do? Can Simons make a difference? Would Nicholas Jackson have made a difference today? To tactics, what went wrong? Just stick it in the comment section below. Don't forget, as always, guys, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications that you know be notified every time I make a new video. The light still hasn't come back yet. Arsenal are playing soon. My other boy who supports Arsenal may not be able to watch the game. But anyway, as I said, it's lights out for Chelsea today, and it's lights out for me too. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.